Would I date myself, let's say 30 plus years ago? I would say yes. I would date myself because I was a good time. You know, I like to have fun. But I wouldn't get serious with me. Real talk. I would date myself back then 30 plus years, but I wouldn't get serious with me because I know that any way the wind blows. It's like I get bored too easily.
Welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Aunties podcast. I am Joe.
I'm Key.
And I'm Jay, where we keep it real,
raw,
and relatable.
All right. While sharing our experiences,
our opinions,
and our feelings.
Yeah. Yes. Today's topic is, would you date yourself? Reflect on your relationship habits and patterns. Would you date yourself?
Sure would.
I know I would. I think I'm perfect.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay. So let me ask, so you know I got to play devil's advocate. So you're answering the question as today you date yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah, today. I don't know about back then.
That's what I'm going. You see where I'm going with it, right? Would you date yourself 20 years ago? Would you date, you know what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with it, right?
No, because I mean, when you think about it, 20 years ago, no, I still was figuring things out. And even as a younger adult, heck no, man.
So you wouldn't date yourself?
It was all over the place. No.
Would you date yourself 20 years ago?
I mean, keep it real. Keep it honest.
We keeping it honest on here.
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't. Now, I love myself.
Okay, fair.
So
that speaks to my first question. So let's piggyback over that. If someone had the same traits as you in a relationship,
back then or now?
I want you to answer the question both ways.
Okay.
If someone had the same traits as you in a relationship, would you date them today? The same traits you got. And that's everything. That's with you and all your baggage.
I would say yes, because in terms of the dating side of it or being in a committed relationship, that's been me from starting dating up until now. Like that piece of me hasn't changed. Me as a person has grown and developed. Like certain things I probably thought I wanted to do, be and did back then. I'm not doing that. Don't want to do that no more. But my dating style, my commitment style, one-on-one type of thing, we ain't dibble-dabbling over here, that's still true to me today.
Okay.
So from that perspective, yeah.
How about you?
I would say not all of it. Most of me, yes. But I still want that part where there's someone.
You can't. It's either way you date you or not. Not all of me.
I would date me.
Okay.
And I'm also looking for someone to open me up to new ideas.
Okay.
They can't have the same exact ideas as me and don't have nothing to bring to the table.
Yes.
So yes, I would date myself, but I'm also greedy. And I want someone that's gonna.
Can you elaborate on greedy?
Which means I want somebody to bring more to the table than what we both share. Like, it's spontaneous.
Level it up. You don't get them to come in the same level playing field like this. I want you to be here and then y'all go here. Gotcha.
Okay.
Open me up to new ideas. Have some spontaneous ideas that I can, I'll try that. And so vice versa. I'm going to bring something to this person to make them feel the same way.
I mean, that should be in dating in general, right?
Yeah.
But I think the question really was, would you date yourself as you are, as who you are?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the part of me not trusting.
She got conditions here on how she gonna date herself, man.
Because I know that's the part that I'm working on.
With conditions.
But that's the thing. Real talk. Even though you have conditions, the reality is a lot of people have conditions that they don't readily want to admit, right? So that's the real thing.
Yeah.
Could I date someone who's a mirror image of me in terms of the same traits? Probably not. This is why I will never date a Sagittarius.
What trait? Okay. What trait specifically? Like, because when I said I would, it was from my style of dating and being in a relationship. But other parts of me no, because I still haven't developed and grown up. So
like, so for example, like the trait of if we get angry, it's a disaster, right? So if I had someone that's just like me that can debate with the best of them and come with the receipts and everything, it's going to be a disaster because no one's going to yield. We're both going to be having our receipts.
Y'all both going to be prepared, though.
Right, but then
to have your argument.
So they would say, true. So they would have to be, so the only way it would work is if they're completely like me and having that level of understanding. Like, okay, I hear what you said. I'm going to take that back and let me sit with it. Back in the day, I would hear what someone said and I would still take it back and sit with it. But then depending on whether I cared about the person or not, I'd be like, oh, fuck it. Yeah. Right? But everybody don't have that quality of, I hear what you're saying, let me sit with it. Yeah. And sometimes they just like, these are my receipts, and then that's it. That ain't gonna work for me. So I can't do that.
Because the reality is, zodiac sign or not, you're gonna have some similar qualities, right? And those are the things that you do like about yourself and you would date that person for. But you gotta add in environment, you gotta add in upbringing, you gotta add in values or something like that. So while you may have some of these similarities in certain areas, they may not be exactly like you.
No, I would.
And those are the things.
Yeah, like no, that's not gonna work. I need someone who's spontaneous. That's fine. The quirkiness,
yes,
that's absolutely fine. Actually, I like that because I don't like people being the same. Like you don't buck the system. You got to think out of the box. I like people that think out of the box, right? I guess the most I would date me. Back then, would I date myself, let's say 30 plus years ago? I would say yes. I would date myself because I was a good time. You know, I like to have fun. But I wouldn't get serious with me. Real talk. I would date myself back then 30 plus years, but I wouldn't get serious with me because I know that any way the wind blows, it's like I get bored too easily. And I would always be thinking, is this person for real about me? Are they really ready to be committed about me?
Right. Okay.
Because I'm very like...
But they going anywhere you go too.
Yeah, but if you like me, it's like one little thing you do is like... That ain't gonna work for me anymore. Especially back then, it's like, oh no, baby, it's done. We done. I'm off that, right?
Yeah.
So I think that takes some time.
I just think for myself, like knowing what I know now, I'm a long-term relationship type of person.
Right? Always been, yeah.
So understanding that you have to grow, and if the person can't grow with me, then it's just not going to work, right? So I knew back then I still had a lot to learn about me, who I was and who I was becoming. So if I look back today as who I am today, I'd say no, because I still didn't know who I was.
That's fair.
But now that I know I'm sure in who I am, and I'm sure in the direction that I'm going in, today I would date myself. You damn right I would.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
She said what she said.
Because we doing this together, damn it. Anyways.
Well, I'm just now today, would I date me? I don't know. I'm crazy right now. I'm raging. This menopause got me fucked up.
Well, they gonna be on the same page as you, man.
Men don't have menopause.
No, yes, they do.
Well, they go through something.
Menopause similar, yeah.
But if we both like eyes, it's over. I don't know.
I'm just at a point now that whoever I get with has to understand me. If you want me to understand you. And if you can handle me,
that's what I guess you knowing yourself now who you are. I feel like that gives you enough insight to say that this is the person I would date now because they're just like me.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I understand this. Like, I could be I'm a stubborn person too. At times, like certain things I want to be my way is my way. But if they're like me, they're gonna want it to be that way too. That's how I'm envisioning it. Now I could be completely wrong, but I'm envisioning how I'm thinking the person I'm going to date that's going to be just like me is going to think and act and do just like me. That's how I'm envisioning.
Finishing each other's sentences.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. What are your best and worst relationship habits?
Best and worst.
I give too many chances.
Yeah.
I've given too many chances.
My loyalty is what's my downfall.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think for me, especially in the beginning, I'm not giving chances. You only got about 1-2 times, if that, to show them. In the beginning, it's like, why am I'm not even invested in it. There's too many other people out there. It's like, you got 1 or 2 chances with me and it's done. It's like, okay, we're done. We're not compatible. Go find your person. Let me go find my person. I'm not giving them any chance, especially in the beginning. If we got nothing invested, no.
Dick come dime a dozen.
And it's more than that. It's little things, like, that's one aspect of it, but there's it's just other things. It's like, I don't like to waste my time. And I think as I've gotten older,
I'm there now.
My patience is,
my patience is short at this point. But yeah, if I had to look back, there are things that I should have ended way earlier than I did, and I didn't. So I think that's a trait. I think not today, but back then, and it's why I wouldn't date myself back then. I never shared my feelings or concerns at the rights. I would hold on to things, and then I'd blow up at the end, because now everything's just getting purged. But now I say how I feel. Like, I say how I feel now.
I guess the way I looked at it growing up was relationships were supposed to be worked on.
Yeah.
That's why I was always in a long-term relationship. And even though things wasn't always the way it should, I was giving chances, because I felt relationships, you just don't go in and everything is going to be roses. You're supposed to work at it, and you're supposed to try and make it work and not give up so easily. Now I don't feel that way anymore, because I don't want to waste no more time.
I think that comes from, like Kira said in the very beginning, there's no investment here, so why give it a chance?
Yeah.
But when there's time spent, absolutely,
that's a little different.
Try and work on it, right, and see what you can. But listen, if you're not on the same page and trying to work on it, then I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes too, a lot of women and men may do this too, but I see it more in women, that we tend to fall in love with potential.
Yeah.
He's got the potential to do this. He's got let me help build him up. Sometimes that doesn't always work, or you may build somebody up and then they be like, okay, sayonara. And then they go to the next person, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes that happens, but there's nothing wrong with growing together. But I think too often a lot of women fall into the trap of, I see his potential, but if he's not showing you, making the moves to be where you think he should be, then you're wasting time.
Or they come up with the thing, I can change him. And
I think, now those guys, I
can't do this.
Yeah,
but
you can't change.
You can't change a person.
No.
And this is another thing I teach my kids too. Like, to your point, don't waste your time, right? If you see things that you don't like happening in the very beginning, exit stage left. Or if you want to try and figure it out, let the person know that these are the things that you don't like. And if the person is truly invested in you and value you, they'll make the necessary adjustments, because relationships are compromised, right? Yeah. So you have to make adjustments if you want to make your person happy, or contribute to their happiness, because you can't make people happy. Yeah. Contribute to their happiness, right? You can't change people.
Right.
Yeah.
If this is not your person, do not try and change them. If you can't accept the person for who they are, because everybody's not going to be, they're not going to check all the boxes all the time, and not going to be 100% of what you think what you envision that your person is going to be. What's important to you? What matters to you? And if they're not the person that's stepping up to your standards and expectations of what you want in your partner, don't waste your time and don't waste theirs.
And it took a long time to get to that point.
Yeah. I mean, and these are the kind of lessons I think as parents you should be kind of sharing with your kids. Financial things. You can't tell them how to be in a relationship, but you can share some of the good things of what you learn and how you are making adjustments when you go forth and be into a relationship. If you're not with the person that you were with, or with their father or whoever.
Yeah, I agree.
Or even with their father or mother or whatever, you should share those things with them, because they need to know that they are a person, they're valuable, and whoever they take on to be their partner, they need to be valued, and they need to value that partner.
Yes.
Yeah. I always say, like, sometimes we ignore the red flags, like, to your point, where you do say, hey, kind of like, you made me feel X, Y, and Z during a relationship, right? Or I didn't like the way you did this. And if they ignore it, or don't, or say, oh, you shouldn't feel that way because da-da-da. But then go back and do the same, just repetitive behavior. That's it's like, you're not going to change that person. They have their view.
Yep.
So then you got to ask yourself, what am I doing here?
Yep.
But sometimes we make excuses, and I'm just not. People are adults. Like, I'm not making excuses. Like, either you got to figure it out, you know. But then equally, so there's a bunch of red flags, but then there's green flags when you see someone that is actually paying attention to you, and then you reciprocate and you do the same thing. So those are like, you're sewing into each other. Yes, those are great flags to at least acknowledge.
Big on action. Yeah. Especially now. You show me and do things for me without me even having to ask or even have a conversation with you. You're paying attention to me. Man,
that's a great thing. Yeah. It's a great thing. What does it take to be relationship ready?
First, knowing yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
First and foremost, knowing yourself. Understanding your boundaries, what those are, your tolerance levels, because people take on and deal with a lot of stuff, and they don't realize that they don't have to. So understanding those things, and I'll stop there.
You have to love yourself, not just know yourself. You have to love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you ain't gonna have enough love to give to somebody else.
Okay.
And it took a long time to get to that point too.
So how do you identify when a person, like the other side, right? So when you meet a man and you're like, okay, how do I see that what characteristics are they displaying that shows that they're relationship ready? Because these are all internal, loving yourself. And sometimes, I mean, loving yourself can manifest in how you move, right? In your conduct and everything. But what are some signs that you know, okay, I'm with this dude, he's ready for a relationship? Beyond him telling you that, because actions speak louder than words. So what are you seeing that shows you he's ready? And what are you displaying? Yeah. That's not just you're loving yourself, but what are you doing to show that you're ready?
I think being a good listener. I think a good communicator. Actions speak volumes. So it's like me, I'm big on doing what you say you're going to do.
Because this is beyond the dating thing. This is relationships.
Yeah.
Okay.
Committed. Like, you're showing me, not giving me any doubt, any type of way. And how you interact, like how you interact with your people.
Yeah.
You know, your relationships that you have outside of ours.
Yep.
What about you?
She done hit all the
points. So I would piggyback off of that and say, when you have it in your heart to be loyal, like you mentioned, you're respectful, there's stability, like you mentioned, all of that coupled with the willingness to compromise, because everything ain't always going to be peachy. So you have to be able to compromise. When you're done playing, you're really ready to build. Yes. Right? You can see that when they're done playing around. And it's not wrong. It's okay to date and play around. Yeah. When you're done and you're ready to commit, when you're being intentional. Right? So, which shows up in how they act, their conduct, you know, how consistent they are. Their willingness, again, to resolve conflicts. I keep bringing that up because there's going to be conflicts. And to your point, relationships take work. So you have to be willing to yield. Right? All those things will display that the person's ready. Yeah. So now let me ask you a question. What are some signs when they're not ready?
Bad communication. Not willing to have those hard conversations. Out there, they still out there they out there living, you know, they're not being honest. You know, you catch them and stuff. Right? Because you can't keep hiding under the blanket or behind a corner all the time. Stuff is going to happen. They're not dependable. Nope. They're not doing what they say they're going to do. No. The actions are not matching the words.
Nope.
I could go on. There's a lot to know.
What? You have anything you want to contribute?
Y'all both been hitting everything on the head. I don't have to say nothing, but the only thing I will add is me feeling safe. Yeah, that's something that's big to me. And if I don't feel safe with you, if I got that thought in the back of my mind that I can't depend on you for nothing, and that's the first red flag. Yeah. And that'll come up within the action so early. And you saying something and I'm not seeing what you're saying you're gonna do. Yeah, all that plays a role in that. So when I start feeling unsafe,
And respected.
Yeah, that's a big. So that's the one one of the major. I only had one. You listed a lot of them, and I agree with all of them. Yeah. I only had one, and the one is the safe part, because when I see an example I'll use is like if I see someone that's constantly like lashing out, losing their shit, raging over things that to me are minuscule, that tells me you're being triggered by something and you ain't healed. And if we're partners, we're in a relationship, I'm supposed to be your safety, I'm supposed to be your person, you're supposed to be my safety, and you're supposed to be my person. Yep. I can't feel safe. Like, how are you gonna demonstrate you're being safe to me if you're constantly like losing your shit? Yeah, that does to me. You ain't regulate your nervous system enough to like handle me and make me feel safe. I'm gonna be like, this person's always on edge,
or even trusting me. Like, you don't trust me enough to be open with me. Like, if I'm supposed to be your person, I'm supposed to be the one.
You're not ready for a relationship.
Yeah, you're not ready for a relationship. So yeah,
I agree with that. Okay. Okay.
Do you think there's a difference between standard versus preferences, and do we hold ourselves to the same? I do think there is a difference between standard and preferences, because preferences, you can be like, this is what I want, but I'm not getting it, and I'm probably gonna be okay with that. Whereas in standard, you're gonna hold true to that.
Yeah. No, there definitely is a difference. Yeah. So, but repeat the question so I can make sure I can answer
it. The difference between standard versus preference. Do we hold ourselves to the same?
Now that's the key. Do we hold it? So, for example, if I'm understanding the question, it's like I'll use a preference standard, however you want to do it. Okay. Where there was a thing going around last year with men taking women to like Cheesecake Factory, and women are like, I don't want to go to no Cheesecake Factory. That's low budget. You know, give me something a little bit more, Morton Steakhouse or some kind of upscale Nobu or something like that.
For the first date,
on the first date, right? Because it's setting a standard. Now, for them, that's their standard. But even though I laughed at it, that may be a standard for that woman. However, my argument to that is if you can't take yourself to Nobu by yourself with your own check, then that's different. Now, if you can, that's your standard. Right. I get it. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. But if you can't and you're just trying to like get that level, having him do it, then that's a double standard, because your expectation is you can't do this. Bottom line is, if you're trying to get from your partner things that you can't acquire yourself, but your expectation that you want him to do, the man is supposed to do that, I want him to do it, then to me, that's lopsided. Because then what are you really bringing to the table? Besides, what are you doing?
Your wants.
But then equally, that's just my view. But then equally, there are men who are totally okay with having a woman that doesn't bring much to the table apart from her appearance, because that's what it's the trophy.
That's their
they're buckets for each type. I
agree. Yeah.
And I think where we get misaligned is that people here want to fit up there, but maybe they don't fit. They don't do the work to make sure they can stay there. That's what I feel. But they're buckets. I don't knock anybody, because a man can have a definite preference for a certain type of woman, and that's what he wants. Same thing with women. She can have a preference. You just got to meet those expectations. That's all. Yeah. I'm okay with that. I laugh at those type of debates, because it's like, it's all comical to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I was watching some show where I think the woman, she had, this, I go here, I do this, I travel, I eat at this place, I live a fine, exquisite life. And anybody that steps to me need to be in that same level category.
I don't understand that.
And that's her standard. And listen, you want somebody that's gonna meet you somewhere.
I understand. I get it.
And if you choose to be with somebody who's not at the same level of you, but they're working towards it, that's a different type of expectation. And you guys already talked about what the plan is. Yeah. When they start falling short of that plan because then they got comfortable, then that's
a problem, right? Or you overlook the fact that you liked him for his potential.
Right. Yes.
But maybe he never really wanted to do the things that you wanted him to do, but you're trying to change him. You're trying to mold him. You're trying to, and it's like, it don't work that way. And then you get upset because you invested all this time when in actuality, he showed you who he was a long time ago. You just didn't want to, maybe the sex was too good and you blinded. Because that happens.
Yes.
That definitely happens to women.
But you do have some men that will display all that stuff, and then it starts to die out. They did what they did just...
It's a front.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and the thing is, okay, when you're in your younger years, maybe you can't see the front. But as you start, and let me say this back, it's not just a year and age thing, but if you've been exposed and you've been on the scene dating and you've been used to it, you should be able to see
and point and figure out.
Man, he a joker. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. But and same thing with men. You should, if you've been dating enough, you should be. Man, look at this trick.
But they still don't know themselves well enough, and they haven't figured themselves out, and they don't know their.
Go here.
They still chasing that same pattern. Like I had a question here. Do we attract the partners we deserve or the ones we tolerate? So you're still out there.
Ooh, read that question again. It's a good question.
Do we attract the type of partners we deserve or those are the ones we tolerate? And that, to me, I think the ones that we tolerate are the ones that we had not broken that pattern. Like we still dating that same person.
You're right.
Over and over again. Okay. So when you attract the person you deserve, that means you stepped out of your comfort zone with this make and model that you have in your head, that you have computed in your head. And so this is the prototype here, and the show they keep having all these damn defaults and malfunctions.
They glitching.
Now you go and you just stepped out your comfort zone to try the new model, and it's the model you deserve. But now people they're not ready for that.
I also think there's some women that it may be a low self-esteem issue. I don't really know, but maybe when you say the one they deserve, they never go for that type of person because I think they sabotage themselves subconsciously. Like maybe they feel like they're not really deserving.
It goes back to the previous topic. They like to struggle. It's a part of struggle, right?
And I do believe that it's like either it's self-confidence or self-esteem that they don't feel like they can get the person that they deserve. So they settle for, they
don't even know what they deserve.
Sometimes, yeah. And same thing with men. I say women because obviously I'm a woman, but I think maybe men, they don't shoot their shot for this one because she's out of my league. But you're sabotaging. Maybe she's not, because she can look great on the outside and be broken on the inside, But I get it. It's all
familiarity. They know this type of person, stuff, and they don't feel like it goes back. They don't feel like they deserve better. So
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I have a question for you guys. What would an ex say was their biggest issue with you? I like to think of the hardest, the worst question. It's gotta be spice. Let's spice it up. What would an ex say? Don't matter which one. What would an ex say was their biggest issue with you?
No emotion.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
No emotion?
No emotion in terms of showing that I cared.
Nobody had no problem with me. Let me stop. I was not the problem. Let me stop.
I mean, I wasn't. I feel the same way, but I understood.
Not because. Come on, boy.
I'm being serious.
All jokes aside.
I'm being serious. I'm being told that now because I'm not. I look at it as you want me to kiss your ass. Not doing that. If you're saying one thing and showing me something else, I'm not going to go out of my way to appease you until you show me that you're in this. Plain and simple.
Okay, that's fair.
Don't sit here and say that this is the type of person you are and then display something else to me. Because now the red flags are coming up. I'm not kissing your ass. Yeah. I'm the prize. That's how I feel. And unfortunately, there's men out here that feel that they're the prize. So you're supposed to do this, this, and this in order for them to do this, this, and this.
But, okay, I want to go to that because I feel like it is a give and take. I don't know the situation, but I feel like it is a give and take when men do feel like they're the prize. And I don't feel like fine. I think everybody could be the prize.
They can be.
Feel like we're
both the prize, and that's the thing, right? So one shouldn't trump the other. I think that when you feel like, gosh, because when one feels like this is the prize, and oh my gosh, I was able to get with that girl or get with that guy, to me, then you making yourself less than. You shouldn't be you're competing with
exactly.
You should not be competing. You both should be like, this should be a wonderful thing. We both give in to each other.
So for you to point that out or constantly say something about it, that's an issue for me.
Got it.
So yeah.
Okay.
Mine would be that they didn't know how could they change themselves or change something that I didn't like if I didn't tell them. Like I told you, I sat with stuff, I held stuff on until I exploded. But my thing was like, I don't know. I didn't know you felt this way because you didn't tell me. So
that's fair.
Yeah. I don't know if they would have changed anything, but that was one thing they would say, that they didn't know how I felt about certain things. So how would I expect them to make adjustments if they was interested in doing so? Anyway, I don't know. They did an X for a reason.
I guess I can piggyback off one of our previous podcasts where we talked about love language. Okay, so this falls in line with me not showing emotion in their eyes. I was one that I don't need to constantly keep telling you that I love you. If I've said it and I'm showing you in my actions that I love you, that should be enough. Whereas a lot of people don't feel that way. And if you're not saying it, that means you don't really care.
Right.
I don't need to say it 10 times a day. Yeah. Not doing that.
I'm an action-oriented person.
Exactly.
So like, yeah, that probably be one.
That's where the me not showing emotion comes into.
I got it.
I wouldn't say it's not showing emotion, but if they feel need you to be told that you have to tell them you love them every single day or throughout the day.
I missed you. Oh my God, I can't wait to see you at the end of the day. Baby, I love you. I miss you. And doing this, I'm not doing all that throughout the day. We both have lives.
I'm not. I'm not.
I'm gonna show you when we get home and we get in that bedroom.
I'm gonna cook you a nice meal. On the back. I'll ask you how you like. I'm showing it by showing that I'm interested in how you're feeling and what your day is. I care about you.
Exactly. Giving you a back rub when you get home.
Yeah.
Rubbing your feet. Doing your feet.
Oh,
I do stuff like that. That's my way of showing. Yes, I've done that.
No, just look at her face. She was like, well.
I'll show you. All right, we gonna go to the salon and get your feet sus. I'll teach you.
But no, in her respect, she did. Okay, she did nails and stuff. So I know that
everybody has their own way. I don't do my own feet, so I'm not doing yours.
Oh, but see, right, does he? I know you do. So I get it. I understand. I get it.
I'm not knocking.
I was laughing off because she says, "Well." You saw her. She was like, "Well."
I'm not knocking you. You go right ahead.
Everybody had their way. And to that point, I just think that it's important, based on what you said with respect to love languages, that, sharing that with your partner so that they understand, hey, listen, I ain't going to tell you I love you every day, but I'm going to show you. Yes. I'm big on actions as opposed to words. And hopefully they can understand that, so they won't feel the need to be like, oh, that's not how she loves. She loves in this way. I love in that way, right? So they may still shower you with, oh, baby Joe's, I love you, and texting you, I love you. And maybe they won't get the text back, but when you get home, you dressed all nice and you ready to get it popping. So, I mean, I get it. You just got to find a person that can understand that. Yeah.
I mean, I do say it back if it's said to me. It's just I don't always say it because I've split myself other kind of way. But yeah, I have a problem saying it. It's just that it's not something that's always at the top of my tongue. But I'll show you, and I'll, whatever.
A part of all this is, do you prioritize self-care for yourself?
In terms of?
Just in the relationship realm, who you look for in a partner, if you show that you are big on self-care for yourself, are you looking for that to be in your person as well, so there's a mutual understanding of it?
Like that in my date I should do self-care.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be
I mean a date to myself.
Yes. Or things like that. Like, you value your quiet time.
Yes. Yes.
You want the person that you with to understand that and understand that they need to do that for themselves as well. Yes. But when you do come together, it's an explosive situation because you've had time apart.
Absolutely. This one always got sex on the brain, but yes. Because that's a big part.
No, but I understand what you're saying. It is,
it's important.
It should be, you need the separation. Like, you cannot be I shouldn't say you cannot, because some people do that, but being up on top of each other all the time is like, that's too much. Give some chance to miss each other.
A person who doesn't know how to be by themselves or be with themselves, that's a problem. Is a problem for me. It makes me wonder, like, what do you don't like about yourself that you can't spend no alone time with yourself? What demons are going on or deal that you can't sit by yourself in quiet?
Because there's something there.
Like, what's happening in that moment that you be like, oh, I can't do this. I got to get up. I got to go out. I got to do that. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I think quiet time, self-time by yourself is very important.
Yeah, it's important, man. I need that shit. That stuff rejuvenates me.
Fuel.
Yeah, for sure.
So if I ain't right, we all ain't going to be right.
No, right. So
that's how I'm looking at it. Yeah. I need to know me before I can deal with anybody else.
Yeah. But that is a big question mark in my head. If I people that just always have to be around somebody, always doing something, just being in a mix of things. It's like, what is it?
Yeah.
Now, I will say I had an issue with that in my earlier years, but now I truly appreciate alone time. I can be by myself. These two ladies can attest to that.
Yeah.
It's important. Everybody off in a minute and just a couple of days silence. No phone, no nothing.
You just need a minute to regroup. And I don't think there's anything
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And it plays into your self-awareness of what you need for yourself. Do we have any fun facts or?
Yes. So,
fun fact alert.
Yes. Studies show that many people subconsciously look for partners who mirror traits they either like or struggle with in themselves. So if you ask, would I date myself? You're actually tapping into something psychologists call self-concept clarity. People with higher self-awareness and self-acceptance are more likely to say yes because they recognize and appreciate their own qualities without harsh self-judgment. So, question is, would I date myself? Emotionally, absolutely. Logistically, I'd block myself by Thursday.
That's you needing your alone time. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Okay.
Contrary to what you said about that, and I think, well, not contrary, because what you said is about people who truly in tune with themselves wouldn't date themselves. Where the unpopular opinion states a lot of people wouldn't survive dating themselves because it says accountability is a mirror. Those are the people I think who don't like to be alone with themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, they wouldn't date themselves.
Yeah, I think my story time really, it's not a huge story, but I think it really stems on observations that I had with some of my friends and because they're in the dating scene. And I think a lot of it is that many of them haven't sat with themselves long enough to understand how they can be accountable and sometimes in the relationships and what they truly want, and finding men or being trusting that they can find their partner that will love and respect them. Right. I think there's a one friend in particular that does not want to be by herself. Like she's just
so she's always
constantly dating, constantly. And it's like, okay, I get that. And listen, let's be true. If you're not out there dating, how are you going to find somebody? So I understand that piece. But I think there's something within her that she needs to figure out. Because even if she's home, she gets bored. I say I get bored fast, but I'm talking about like if I'm doing something, not with myself.
Right.
When I'm by myself, we go together real bad. We good. Me and Keith
have a movie night.
A good night. Yeah, just chilling, So I think sometimes, yeah, and I think sometimes, I share this because I think other women need to do this too. Like, sit with yourself and get to learn yourself a little bit more, and be comfortable and love yourself, so that you can attract someone that is worthy of loving you, right, and building with. But I think sometimes we suppress the bad parts of us, showing up only the good parts, and when you're in a relationship, if you suppress all the bad parts that are unhealed, they're going to rear its head at some point. If you got to work on those things, and that means you got to sit with yourself to work on it. So, I mean, that's my story. Story time.
I know we're closing out, but I do have one question. in a relationship, not in a relationship, do you go on a solo date? Do you?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Take yourself out to dinner, to the movie, whatever. Go on a solo trip. Like, I think those are important too.
So I've traveled solo, but that was for work, really. So yeah, so in those instances, yeah, I've been like I remember, never forget, I had traveled to Canada. I was in Toronto, and I went to, sitting at a dinner table, and this, woman comes up to me. She's like, "You're by yourself?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Yeah. And she's like looking around, and then the guy comes over. He's like, "You're by yourself?" And I'm like, "Yeah." But in my turns into like, "Do not sit down." I was like, "I'm happily married." He's like, "Oh, he was gonna come and sit down." And he's like, "It's okay. You're happily married, but we can still." I do those things, but the first time I ever went on to the movies by myself, and I can't really, this doesn't count because Rich was bringing the kids. I just didn't want to see what they wanted to see. So y'all went together, but you went to a different theater. You went together, but I was like, I ain't watching that. And I mean that shit. I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to go see this. And he was like, for real? So that's a serious. I was like, yes, ticket, buy that. It's sort of count.
You watched the movie by yourself.
It did feel weird. Sitting that movie.
That's not the same thing.
In a movie,
you chose to go somewhere else. No, but
yeah, it felt.
This is you leaving the house by yourself. No kids, no Rich. Go to the movies.
I never did that. Nah, I never did that because
at a bar, like
just to go sit at a bar by myself
and have a drink.
I just don't see. I've never done that.
I did it recently.
Yeah,
and it was it was cool.
I would imagine it being cool, but okay. When if I'm on a business trip, have I gone to sit at a bar and have a drink? Yes. But you have no drink. It's a situation. It's in a situation. But to do it in my house right now and go, leave my husband there, is like, that's weird to me. So
I've done that all the time. I'll go in a restaurant in a minute, find a nice corner.
Yep.
Get a glass of wine, order me a drink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still playing on my phone and stuff, but that's my time.
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't have a problem doing that. Yeah. I'll go to a bar. I'll have a glass or two.
Mm-hmm.
I may talk to some people. I may not.
Yeah.
Then I'm leaving.
Yeah.
But the movies,
you like movies.
Yeah. Prior to COVID,
mm-hmm.
every month I was going to the movies by myself, looking for the new.
That's your thing.
Yeah, I'm a movie buff. No, but I didn't have a problem going to the movies by myself.
Yeah. For me, it was weird because it was like, well, this.
Like, I didn't need somebody to go with me. That was the whole thing.
Spend some time with yourself.
Yes.
Get to know you and love on you. And then maybe you won't be so just in relationship.
A person that's like you, that you want to date because y'all have a lot of things in common. Yeah, so yeah.
Spend some time with yourself. Yeah, it's all good. And on that note,
till next time, people.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know. Do you go on solo dates? Solo trips? Would you date yourself? Yes.
So next, do you sell these?
No.